You got it. XRP. It is right in the middle of the blast radius. Hold on tight because the world of crypto just changed forever. We'll begin right now. Everyone, even your kids, will remember this as the time when everything changed. The OC just told banks they can keep crypto on their books as long as they use it to pay blockchain gas fees. Now, if they're going to pay for blockchain gas, think about why. For the reason that they are tapping in ISO 2000022. Do you get it? They need to have crypto on hand to pay the fees to use these different networks and blockchains. This is not a small change to the rules that you're seeing right now. In a way, this is the US government accepting that crypto rails are now important financial infrastructure. You should think about what this really opens up, right? Banks can now hold Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, and other native coins in their own hands. They don't have to go through a third party to pay network fees. With it, blockchain functions can be used in your regular banking system. At this point, TradeFi says in a low voice, yeah, we do need those networks and the crypto that is built into those networks so we can use them. Here's why all of this is good for XRP. What do banks thrive on? How quickly and efficiently? And the XRP settlement method was made to be used in that way. Every day, everyone and everything is moving toward this. That's why the move to ISO is so big. For the first time, these banks can use these blockchain and digital ledger systems. If you think this part is crazy, you better wait a second because the next update I'm going to show you will show you exactly where the money is beginning to move. Look at this. Banks are putting money into Bitcoin ETFs, but big buyers are pulling their money out of the biggest ones. BlackRock just dumped a crap ton of Bitcoin. The performance of these ETFs is worse than that of government bills. Think of a bank bill as a CD if you don't know what it is. You get a great rate. T-notes. I hold T-bills, and that's the change I've seen. When you buy a CD, you're stuck with it for 30 days, 60 days, or a whole year. When you buy treasury bills, the rate stays the same, but you can sell them at any time without being charged a fee. The biggest Bitcoin funds aren't being chosen as much as T-bills these days. And can you guess what's going on in the background? A wheel turn. Ethereum, Solana, and XRP are all getting more money. You know, the things that really do have a purpose are fast and can be used. This is how the crypto cycle usually looks. In the first phase, Bitcoin rules. Step 2, Bitcoin cools down. In the third phase, capital changes to alts with high usefulness. In the fourth step, you start your explosive move. And since we're talking about money coming into XRP, wait until you see how much Canary just got. This is where things get crazy. Canar's XRP ETF, which trades under the ticker XRPC, is now in its fourth day, just 1 day short of a full week. They have already held over 7.7 million XRP. The amount of XRP they currently have in keeping is 132,193,300, and which you can see on your screen. That is one ETF. It looks like 3 more will go live on Monday as well. That's something we'll talk about in this video or the next one. We'll have to wait and see. But why does this matter? Since you got people arguing and fighting on Twitter, they don't fight about institutions. On Twitter, they don't argue. What do? They build up. They can't just reach that level of acquisition if they don't know what's coming. Also, let's talk about what's coming up. The charts. The charts, yes. Perhaps you're looking at them because you're worried about what's going on with your favorite cryptocurrency all the time. We're getting a message from it that we haven't seen in months. This was put out by eGrad. The 3-day chart for XRP now shows a big bullish divergence. It's not a little one. There hasn't been one this strong in months. That's why this is important. If you do not understand what a positive divergence is. So, whenever XRP shows a split like this, it usually means that the change is already happening. We can touch that FG, which is your fair value gap. If you're tired, stressed, or down in the market, this could be your last real chance to sell before the next big move. Because XRP hasn't even begun its big move yet, if Bitcoin sets a new all-time high, and this isn't the start of a bear market. The next piece of news I'm going to show you shows you exactly where the world is going. New Hampshire issued the first Bitcoin-backed city bond. Here is a piece of history. So, New Hampshire issued their first city bond. Bitcoin is being used to back a MUN bond by this US state. This makes it possible for a global debt market worth $140 trillion to use digital assets as security. At this point, governments start to take notice, and you can almost hear them saying to themselves as they sit at their desk and stare out the window, that's right, these things really do hold their value. There are three types of funds: national wealth funds, pension funds, and mune bonds. And if you think that institutions are scared of Bitcoin at a discount, a red candle on Bitcoin, listen to what an important insider just said. This is John. John works for Coinbase. John told the truth. He adds, if you like this asset, well, then you should like it at a discount. This isn't advice for stores. Institutional psychology is what this is. When things like this happen, I try to take a step back and ask myself, what has really changed since, say, late September, when everyone was very optimistic? And I don't know the answer. The way things are built is the same or better than it was before. The Czech National Bank said it would buy Bitcoin as a central bank. It is the first country in the Eurozone to do this. Citibank and JP Morgan have both said that they will be using stable coins to help customers make transactions. You have the statement from the Harvard Endowment. You have good launches of ETFs. That being said, things are tough right now, but my family likes apples. It doesn't make me dislike apples more when they're cheap. So, if you want this product, you should get it for less. He's right, though. For example, I like a New York strip steak, and as I get older, I'm also liking ribeye steak more. It changed from a strip to ribs. Even though I like ribeyes no matter how much they cost, I like them even more when they're on sale at Publix for $9.99 a pound. In that week, I'm likely to get 3 ribeyes. Take a look at that. We're not talking about these organizations. People, they're not selling in a hurry. They are not complaining on Twitter or in the comments on my YouTube video. They're stacking before the prices are fixed because, well, what do they see in these discounts? They see chances, and organizations aren't just positive. There are now claims that all the big banks are about to switch on. This brings us to what Eric Trump said, since he said that all the big banks will follow suit and use Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. You can tell that the tone is being changed. Please note that it's not just Bitcoin. It's Bitcoin and digital money. It's not just Bitcoin, right? Please understand that the current banking system in this country is very old. It does not work. It costs a lot. It moves really slowly. I don't think I would have been interested in crypto if everyone hadn't taken away our banks and platforms. If I didn't get letters from Capital One telling me, congratulations, 300 of your accounts go away overnight, trust me, I wouldn't have found this business. That being said, everyone will be in this business within a year. I really mean everyone when I say it. Every bank and customer should do this because it's the way of the future, and it's an honor to be a part of it. To be honest, I'm glad my dad is leading the way on this because another country would get it if he wasn't. It makes me happy to see that both 401ks and prices have gone up. I'm happy that rates will be going down. We're taking back our country. We're taking back our country. And look, whether you agree with the politics or not, when someone who isn't involved says something like this in public, it means that the talks are already going on behind the scenes. It's not going to happen. That needs to be made clear. It's already time to adopt.